What's up guys, Brad back on the channel with a brand new video. Today's video I'm going to be giving my score predictions for every single game in the Championship. So the games that we have got are Fulham, who are hosting Brentford, Middlesbrough versus Swansea City, Millwall have got Derby County, Blackburn Rovers against Bristol City, my beloved Huddersfield Town have got the Ticks, Wigan Athletic, Hull City I've got a battle against relegation rivals Charlton Athletic, Luton Town are hosting Preston North End, QPR I've got Barnsley, Reading I've got Stoke City, Sheffield Wednesday I've got Nottingham Forest, and there is a little Midlands derby between West Bromwich Albion and Birmingham City. And then of course on the Sunday we have got Cardiff City versus Leeds United on Sky. So I'm going to be going through these games one by one, giving the score in the order that I've just said them. So yeah, let's get into it. Just before I get into it though, I'd like to draw your attention to a couple of things. If you don't already follow my Instagram and my Twitter account, you can do that. Go ahead and do that now. Feel free to do that. If you don't want to, then don't do it. But if you're interested in that, then go ahead and do it. Help me out a ton. And also go subscribe to my new channel. I'm going to start a gaming channel, just a bit of a side project, just of course on the side of the main channel. I feel like I can go for it, maybe get somewhere with it. So if you go over and subscribe to that channel and stay tuned for the content that will soon be on it, that would be greatly appreciated, and I thank you a lot for doing so. So first up, we've got Fulham versus Brentford at Craven Cottage, of course, and this will be a very tight game, and I'm personally not sure which way it will go. It all depends on which two teams turn up. Fulham and Brentford are very good teams on their day, but if they do not turn up, it could be awful for either one of them. There are very few teams that can be so good on one day and then awful on another, but Fulham and Brentford definitely fit that category for me personally. I think with Fulham being at home, even though there's no crowd there, there is still a little bit home advantage, pitch size, familiar surroundings, etc. And I think Fulham are going to nick it, and I'm going to go with 2-1. I'm not sure who's going to score, but I'm just going to go with, I reckon, Mitrovic to get a double and Ollie Watkins to get one for Brentford. Next up, we've got host Middlesbrough, who will be taking on Swansea City. Now, this is a bit of a tricky situation for Middlesbrough. They've not won a game all year. By all year, I mean since the start of 2020. We haven't played a lot recently, obviously, because certain circumstances. But up until March, not winning a game, it's not really great when you're in a relegation battle. I see no reason why they have anything that they can sort of show to offer to sort of battle against Swansea. Of course, we played them in a friendly, and apparently we had them as a shambles. So for us to do that, that must be a bit of a bad situation going on at Borough. And I'm going to go with 3-1 Swansea, and I think Andre Ayew's going to get one. Gallagher's going to get one. This is all providing that these players are fit. I'm not sure if they are injured or not, but Gallagher to get one, Ayew to get one, and we're going to go with the centre-back, I think he's called Rodon or something. Yeah, him to get one. For Borough, I reckon Fletcher to get one. Next up, we've got Millwall. Gary Rowett will be welcoming his former club to the Den. Millwall have been a bit of a dark horse this year, I'm not going to lie. We didn't really expect much from Millwall, and they've shocked us. They could easily make playoffs if they got their act, organised, and they picked up points. They could easily get into the playoffs and win it and be a Premier League team next year. That's as really simple as it is. And they've got Derby County now. Derby have sorted themselves out in these later few games. Obviously, we haven't played for a while, so form may not carry over, but they have sort of picked their act up a bit. Although, that being said, I do think Millwall have got a lot going for them. It's going to be a tight game. I reckon this will be a 1-1 draw. And I reckon for Millwall, I reckon Jed Wallace is going to score. And for Derby County, I reckon Rooney's going to get one. Next up is the fixture taking place at Ewood Park. It's Blackburn Rovers versus Bristol City. Now, they're both in a similar situation, with Bristol just that little bit higher up in the table. Bristol seem to be getting near the playoffs every single year and then just falling short at the last hurdle. Although I do fancy them to get into the playoffs this year, and that's why I think this could be a 2-1 Bristol. I reckon Casey Palmer's going to score one. I reckon Famara Gigi was going to get one, and Lewis Holtby will get one for Blackburn if he's playing. If he doesn't play, then I'm going to go with Dak to get the goal. Next up is my beloved Huddersfield Town, and in the friendlies we look to be in good form, although Wigan are a team that are very unpredictable on their day. Although they are in the relegation battle with us, they beat teams like Leeds, and they started to pick up form as before this whole sort of... Whether that form's going to carry over, I'm not sure, but Wigan cannot be underestimated at all. They still have quite a bit going for them, even though they are bottom of the table. And, you know, they could easily shock us like Stoke did earlier on in the season. So I'm going to go with a 2-1, but it's going to be a tight fixture. I don't think it'll be easy like Charlton. I think Wigan are going to get one. I think Jamal Lowe will get one for Wigan. Carlton Grant will score for us. And I also reckon Steve Mounier will get one for us as well. So yeah, hopefully Town can get a result. And hopefully we can take that one final few steps in guaranteeing safety for us. Next up, we've got another team struggling, and that is Luton Town, and they host playoff contenders Preston North End. On paper, it looks like it could be a rugby score for Preston. Luton have been hit with a bit of a reality check in this league. They thought they were going to be higher up, you know, pushing maybe for a Premier League spot, and that is fair to sort of predict because, you know, this league is very unpredictable and a lot of things can happen. Although Luton fans especially have overestimated what they could achieve, and a lot of them have been shocked to see that they've just been bottom and they've just not been able to pick up that many points. They picked up a win against us when we were in bad form, and we are set to play them in a couple of weeks. But Luton have got a bad fixture here in Preston North End. Preston are going to be fighting to keep their playoff place off Bristol City, of course. So I'm going to go with a 3-1 Preston win. I can't really see it going any other way. I reckon Daniel Johnson to get one, Stockley to get one, and Paul Gallagher to get one if he's playing. Yeah, and for Luton, I reckon Izzy Brown to get one. Next up is Queen's Park Rangers versus Barnsley, obviously at the Kian Prince Foundation Stadium, if I pronounced that correctly. Apologies if I didn't. But Queen Park Rangers are a bit of an unpredictable team at the moment. Since losing ex-Town striker Naki Wells, they've just not been able to win games as easy as they could with Naki. A win against Leeds was you know, a crucial sort of talking point as well for them. Although it was a controversial goal, they didn't care. They got 3 points at the end of the day. But this fixture against Barnsley, they have to see it as a win. But I do see Barnsley coming out and fighting. Barnsley are not a team to lay down and accept relegation. Although they've been poor this year, they have picked up forms in little blips and then dropped it and then picked it up again. They beat us, and you know, they beat Fulham away from home and at home, so anything can happen. I do fancy Barnsley putting a bit of fight into this one, and I'm going to go with a 2-2. I reckon Cowley Woodrow and Connor Chaplin to score for Barnsley, and for the Rangers, I'm going with Eze to get one and Jordan Hugill to get the other. So another fixture down south, we've got Reading, and they're hosting Stoke City. Two teams in very similar positions. I wouldn't say Reading are in the relegation fight, but they could easily drop into it if they don't pick up points. Stoke are very much in it like we are, so Stoke will be looking to sort of cement their safety, of course. I do think this is one of those games, it really depends what type of team turns up. When Stoke came to our place, they battered us. Like, the first few minutes they scored, then we got back into it, and then we just bottled it. Stoke were brilliant that day, especially that Campbell lad. He's got a bright future ahead of him. If they turn up correctly, I reckon Stoke can beat Reading, and I do think they will do that. I don't think Stoke are going to make it easy for us to catch up with them, so I fancy Stoke getting a 2-1 win. I reckon Campbell's going to get one, Vokes is going to get the other, and for Reading, I reckon Swift will get the goal. Next up, we've got fellow Yorkshire and in blue and white team Sheffield Wednesday. They're hosting Nottingham Forest. When they last played Forest, they absolutely embarrassed them at their own ground, 4-0. A lot of the fans left at half-time, understandably, but this was under different circumstances, of course. Wednesday were third at the time, I'm pretty sure. Forest were a bit lower down in the table. I'm not entirely sure. Do correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but this is a different match altogether based on their positions now. And I reckon, you know, like I've said with Preston and Bristol and all those teams, Forest are going to come out fighting to try and stay in that playoff race. Wednesday, however, I do think will have done some good work, and I do think they will have identified some problems that were going wrong for them before this, you know, before football stopped. And I reckon it's going to be a 1-1, just simple draw for Wednesday. I reckon that who will score for Wednesday? I reckon Bannon's going to get the goal for Wednesday, and for Forest, I'm going to go with Lewis Grabban. Now, the last fixture on the Saturday. Second in the league, West Brom are hosting the Blues, Birmingham City, a bit of a Midlands derby. West Brom, they're not going to shy away. They want to finish top. Any team would. You can understand that in their position. They'll want to beat Leeds to the top spot. Birmingham, they're not like going up and they're not going down, so they'll just sort of want to. It's not like they haven't got anything to play for, but they'll just sort of want to, you know, guarantee that safety spot. Unless things go really south and very fast, of course. So I'm going to go with a West Brom 2-1 win, with it being a little bit of a regional sort of derby. I don't know if they class it as that, but based on just the region, I'm guessing. But with it being that, there's always a bit of tension and a bit of nerves and a bit of, you know, mistakes, etc. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 West Brom win. I reckon Pereira's going to get one. Robson Canu's going to get one, and for Birmingham, I reckon the Djukovic up top will be getting their goal. So the last fixture on the list is Cardiff City, and they will be hosting top of the league, Leeds United, as much as that pains me to say it. Leeds have been quality this year. They've been different class to a lot of teams, and they've very rarely been stumped, except from QPR, Charlton, Cardiff in the Ellen Road fixture, and I'm missing one other. Did I say QPR, and did I say Wigan? That was it, Wigan. But like I say, it's a rare occasion that they lose now, especially, and if it is, it's only by one goal, maybe two at most. I don't think that's happened. Yeah, it has Wednesday, but like I say, Leeds are a top team and they want to keep first spot, similarly to how West Brom will want to achieve it, but I don't reckon Leeds are going to slow down. Cardiff were a bit of a bogey team in the other fixture though. Whether that's going to happen again, I'm not sure. Although I do reckon Cardiff will want to maintain and stay above their rivals, which is Swansea City, of course. So I do think Cardiff will come out fighting. That is something to worth fighting for, of course. And I reckon that the score will be 2-2. I reckon for Cardiff, Tomlin's going to get one, and Morrison's going to get the other. And for Leeds, I reckon Klitsch and Jack Harrison will score. So that's all my predictions for every match in the Championship, Town included, of course. It's going to be interesting to see how teams react to the match fitness coming back in. Obviously, you've got to hit the ground running if you want to get points in this league. This league really does epitomise the unpredictable thing in football, and anything can go anywhere. Games that will define seasons, define relegation, promotion, could be games that we're looking at right now. So it'll be, like I said, it'll be interesting to see how teams respond to a huge break and a weird event that's taken place and impacted football heavily, of course. Before I end the video, like I say, if you do want to check out my gaming channel, I would greatly appreciate that, and go follow my social medias. You've got my Instagram, which is Brad Barbs, and then my Twitter, which is @BradBarbs. Very simple, easy to remember. But thank you so much, all of you who have stayed subscribed to the channel, who've watched my content and continue to be there whilst I've not, you know, had a lot of ideas and had a lot going for the channel. I really respect the people that have stayed tuned and, you know, rewatched all my videos. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. And I thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy today's video, then don't hesitate to leave a like on it. It helps me out a ton to see what I'm doing right. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I'll start making it a weekly video if people do enjoy it. People do like to see what I will be, do like to hear what I will be saying about the games prediction wise. So yeah, massive thanks as always. Enjoy the weekend. Best of luck for all teams in the Football League. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.